Welcome to Trivia Tales, where we explore fascinating stories from history and beyond. Today, we're taking a journey back in time to ancient Rome, where we'll be exploring the life of a gladiator. Join us as we take a closer look at what it was like to be a gladiator in ancient Rome. We open with a shot of the Colosseum in Rome, and then cut to a reenactment of a gladiator training session. We see a group of gladiators practicing their sword fighting skills, while their trainer looks on. We hear a voiceover explaining that gladiators were trained in a variety of combat techniques, including sword fighting, hand-to-hand combat, and the use of different weapons. Gladiators were often slaves or prisoners of war who were forced to fight in the arena for the entertainment of the Roman people. They were trained in special schools called ludi, where they learned the skills they needed to survive in the arena. These schools were run by experienced gladiators who taught the new recruits everything they needed to know about combat. Next, we see a gladiator preparing for his day in the arena. He wakes up early in the morning and begins his daily routine. We see him eating a hearty breakfast of bread, cheese, and olives, and then getting dressed in his armor. We hear a voiceover explaining that gladiators were given a special diet to help them build muscle and stay in top physical condition. The gladiators' diet consisted of high-protein foods like meat, fish, and beans, as well as plenty of vegetables and fruits. They were also given supplements like barley and bone marrow to help them build muscle and stay strong. The gladiators' armor was made of leather and metal, and was designed to protect them from their opponents' weapons. We then see the gladiator making his way to the Colosseum, where he will be fighting in front of a crowd of thousands of people. We see him walking through the streets of Rome, surrounded by fans who are cheering him on. We hear a voiceover explaining that gladiators were often treated like celebrities in ancient Rome, and that they were admired for their bravery and skill in the arena. Gladiators were often given nicknames based on their fighting style or their appearance, and these names became famous throughout Rome. They were also often depicted in art and literature, and their exploits were celebrated in popular songs and poems. Gladiators were seen as symbols of strength and courage, and their popularity only grew as the Roman Empire expanded. Finally, we see the gladiator in the arena, fighting against another gladiator. We see them using a variety of weapons, including swords, shields, and tridents. We hear a voiceover explaining that gladiators were often forced to fight to the death, and that they had to be prepared to face any opponent in the arena. The gladiators fought in a variety of different styles, depending on their weapons and their training. Some fought with swords and shields, while others used tridents and nets. The fights were often brutal and bloody, and the crowds would cheer and jeer as the gladiators battled it out in the arena. After the fight is over, we see the gladiator being led out of the arena. We hear a voiceover explaining that gladiators who survived their fights were often given a chance to retire and live out the rest of their lives in peace. However, many gladiators chose to continue fighting, either because they enjoyed the fame and fortune that came with it, or because they had no other options. As we wrap up our journey into the life of a gladiator, we're left with a newfound appreciation for the bravery and skill of these ancient warriors. Despite the violence and brutality of their lives, gladiators were able to find a sense of purpose and meaning in their work. Join us next time on Trivia Tales, where we'll be exploring more fascinating stories from history.